One night, a red star appeared in the sky. The star was named Scarlet Calamity, signifying disaster. If a child of royal descent was born when that star appeared, the child would be disregarded. The king adhered to this rule and deemed his fourth daughter already deceased. However, Duke Crystalia disagreed with the king's decision. He took the baby to the forest, claiming he would bury her. In reality, Duke Edward Crystalia secretly brought the baby home. At that time, Duke Edward's family had just welcomed a baby girl. They adopted the abandoned royal baby, making her the sister to their newly born daughter. To preserve the baby's identity, they turned her into the personal servant of their newborn daughter. The baby turned out to be Regina. The only ones who knew Regina's true identity were her friends in the 18th Squadron. She came to the port to catch a glimpse of her sister from afar. However, she found a horned creature near the ship, which turned out to be the sacred spirit of Princess Artelia. Those of royal descent could control sacred spirits, and this spirit was named Carbuncle. Carbuncle was a pioneering sacred spirit with the power to control the warship. However, the ship could still move even if Carbuncle wasn't with the princess. Regina was worried about the princess, and Leo explained what had happened to her. The ship had been taken over by enemies, and Leo instructed Regina to find the princess on the deck. They both went to the ship's deck together. In the banquet hall, Fenris was restless because he couldn't use Excalibur to rescue the hostages. However, Fine had observed the bomb holding the hostages. Fine hid her Excalibur above the lamp, making it unnoticed. She concealed Excalibur before the party began. Jakuto's staff could detonate the bombs there, but Fine's Excalibur required a time lag to attack the staff and stop the trigger. Celia prepared to assist Fine. She picked up a fallen food skewer behind her, used it to injure her finger, and activated her vampire powers. Leo and Regina arrived on the ship's deck. However, the princess was no longer there. The control system on the ship had been deactivated, and Regina couldn't turn it back on. They were worried about the princess. Regina remembered when the princess's sacred spirit made a sound. Leo instructed Regina to call the princess using the sacred spirit because both of them came from the royal family. Regina refused because she didn't want her sister to see her. However, Leo convinced Regina to do so with his wise words. She then telepathically communicated with the princess through Carbuncle. She lied about her identity to deceive the princess, claiming to be a sacred spirit controller passing by. She offered to save the princess, but the princess told her to save the warship instead. She instructed Regina to move the ship away from the void reefs. By connecting Carbuncle to the control system on the lower floor of the ship, they could seize control of the ship. Regina hesitated because she had either rescued the princess heading to the runway or saved the warship. Leo told Regina to go to the control room on the lower floor of the ship while he went to rescue the princess. Regina worried about Leo planning to go alone. To reassure Regina, Leo demonstrated one of his spells by piercing the glass. After that, Regina trusted Leo to save her sister. Leo jumped through the hole in the glass and hurried to the runway. Celia used her vampire blood to create a blood thread and prepared to secretly attack Jakuto. Celia instructed Fine to stop the trigger after she gave the signal. Fenris tried to divert attention and argue with Gers, but Elsa told Gers to stop. Sakuya also untied himself and went to eat bread on the table. Elsa told Gers, who was about to attack Sakuya, to stop. She realized that Sakuya was a member of the Orang clan, hunting voids to avenge their clan. Fenris provoked Gers and made him distracted. He attacked Gers, causing him to fall. Gers got angry and ordered Jakuto to detonate the bomb. Then Celia gave the signal to Fine. Jakuto's staff couldn't move because of Fina's power. Celia used the prepared blood thread to cut Jakuto's staff. Sakuya drew his sword and attacked Jakuto. Fenris created an ice wolf to attack Gers. Sakuya used his sword to attack Elsa. Celia and her friends successfully defeated the group that held them hostage. Sakuya remembered Leo and asked Celia about him. Celia took out her phone and called Leo. Tessera saw something strange outside the ship. Celia and Finny checked it, realizing that they were in the middle of the void reef. Several voids leaped and entered the ship. These voids successfully shattered the glass door of the banquet hall. Sakuya used his sword to attack one of the voids. Fenris used his ice wolf to assail these voids. Celia and Finny evacuated the people in the hall. Leo contacted Celia with the keychain he had given her, surprising Celia. Leo asked Celia about the situation in the hall. Celia explained the emerging voids around her to Leo. Leo instructed Celia to go to the lower floor of the ship. He told Celia to assist Regina, who was trying to take control of the ship. Celia asked for permission from Fine and hurried to Regina's location. Leo, who had been running, finally reached the runway. The runway was also filled with voids. Sharnak led the princess and entered a jet. He planned to take the princess as entertainment for those interested in the power of the sacred spirit. Regina, heading to the lower floor, was overwhelmed by the numerous emerging voids. However, shortly after, Celia arrived and used her sword to attack these voids. In the hall, Fenris and Sakuya attacked the emerging voids. They managed to easily defeat the voids that appeared. However, a crack appeared in the hall. A void emerged from the crack. This void was a merman type and had characteristics different from the voids they had defeated. Finny planned to attack the void merman alone, but Sakuya stopped her. Sakuya chose to face the void merman and told Fenris and Fine to evacuate the civilians. Fine and Fenris left Sakuya, who was about to confront the void merman alone. Once alone, Sakuya unleashed the true power of his sword. His sword turned out to be a demon sword, the Dark Lightning. He told others to leave because the power of the sword was taboo for anyone else. Regina reached the lower floor of the ship. She had to shoot the voids appearing on the bridge to reach the control room. Celia arrived and attacked the voids with her sword. Celia told Regina to quickly go to the control room and leave the void matter to her. She approached the ship's control room and then entered the access code into the controls. The access code was Scarlet Calamity. For Regina, Scarlet Calamity was a frightening name, but she had no intention of forgetting it. Regina then connected Carbuncle to the ship's control system. She instructed Carbuncle to turn the ship 180 degrees to the right at full speed. On the runway, Sharnak and the princess had already boarded the jet. Sharnak didn't allow Giraffe, who had obeyed him, to board and left him outside. He let Giraffe be attacked by the approaching voids. The princess looked out and the ship realized it had changed direction. She was grateful that the person who spoke to her through Carbuncle had successfully completed the task. Sharnak tried to fly the jet, but a shadow bound the bottom of the plane. The plane failed to take off and fell back. The shadow was from Leo. He used his magic to prevent the plane from flying. Inside the ship, Fine and Fenris were evacuating people. They were pressed by the number of emerging voids. Suddenly, someone came very quickly, and they couldn't see the person. That person was Sherry. She used her whip to attack the voids. After defeating all the voids, she went outside the ship. Sherry was angry at the king, who liked to command her recklessly. However, she helped her king's friends because of the trust Celia had in her. In the banquet hall, Sakuya was exhausted. He had successfully defeated the void merman using his demon sword. Sharnak, who failed to fly the jet, went out to meet Leo. Sharnak asked about Leo's identity. Leo replied that he was the demon king. However, Sharnak became angry, thinking Leo was lying. He used fire magic to attack Leo. Leo deflected the magic with his staff. Sharnak was frightened because his magic, which was the legendary Demon King's magic, was easily stopped. Then Leo used his shadow magic to restrain Sharnak. Leo asked about Sharnak's goal. Sharnak replied that he was trying to make the Excalibur users consumed by void to give birth to a demon sword. He would use the Excalibur users as sacrifices to the goddess. Leo was confused because all the gods had perished 1,000 years ago. He asked Sharnak for the goddess's name. When Sharnak was about to answer, suddenly he felt pain in his body. A sword emerged from his body, destroying Sharnak. The sword turned into a void resembling a spider. Leo realized that the sword was the Demon King's killer sword, Zordster Mazekis. Leo guessed that the sword had been swallowed by void and turned into a void lord. Then he unleashed level 8 magic, Algo Belzega. However, the void was not injured. The sword had a special ability to resist magic, and this ability still worked even though it had turned into a void. The void could also use teleportation. It moved above Leo and tried to step on him. Leo was surprised, but he managed to dodge. Other small voids tried to attack the unconscious princess inside the plane. Leo used his fire magic to attack them. The spider-like void moved above Leo again, making it difficult for him. A surveillance camera recorded Leo in the midst of the battle. Regina observed Leo using the camera from the control room on the lower floor. Then she activated the ship's defense system. The automatic cannons on the ship attacked the voids. The small voids were easily killed, but the spider-like void seemed to suffer little damage. Regina activated another defense system. Dozens of boxes containing missiles emerged from below the ship's deck. The missiles were aimed at the spider-like void. The missiles successfully wounded the spider-like void. One missile soared into the sky, and Celia emerged from it. She used her wings and flew towards Leo. Small voids continued to appear around Leo. Leo asked Celia to buy him some time. Celia injured her hand and used her blood to defeat the small voids. Leo held his staff and transformed it into a sword. The sword was the demon's sword, Dainsleif. He swung the sword and used the Ragnalos technique towards the spider-like void. The attack produced a bright light and successfully defeated the spider-like void. The 18th platoon and Fenris were invited to meet the princess. However, Leo and Regina couldn't attend. The princess expressed her gratitude to them for saving her. She asked why the other two couldn't make it. Celia explained the reasons for Leo and Regina's absence to the princess. She also conveyed Regina's message to the princess. Regina was delighted that the princess was safe and prayed for her continuous happiness. The princess smiled after hearing Celia's words. Leo was in the headquarters, lying on the bed. He was exhausted after fighting the void. Regina entered without knocking on the door. She came to visit Leo. She made an apple pie and offered to feed Leo, but he declined. Leo asked if Regina didn't want to see her sister. Regina said it was okay. She had successfully spoken and saved her sister thanks to Leo. She thanked Leo and then kissed his cheek. Leo told Regina to stop teasing him.